Self-destruct in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is Cinco Squad. Cinco Squad. Cinco Squad.
What's up, boys? How you doing?
What's happening? What's happening?
Thursday afternoon.
We're here, guys. We're here on a special night tonight. We got plans this weekend, so we couldn't miss the show. So we're here on a special Thursday edition. Second time we've done it. Cinco Squad coming at you. Thanks for tuning in, whoever's there. Hey, we have an audience of 0. We just love talking to ourselves. Anyway, guys, what a weekend in sports. This is Jamie P. With me tonight. I got Mike the Lone Ranger. I got Mr. Jonathan Sawyer. We got Pat in the house. We got so much to talk about. We're going to go into the current state of the NBA and NHL playoffs. People can't stop scoring runs in the MLB. We got 5 goals galore in the NHL. A lot of stuff went down this week that's really been a sober moment for the United States once again, but we're going to keep it upful before we get there. My boy Medo that I picked had a big meltdown at the PGA Championship. John's going to tell us what he would have done. And, of course, we're going to have our favorite Stump the Squad. But I love talking basketball, so we got to get a little bit of who deserved to really be on the first team All-NBA. So all that coming at you right here. Gentlemen, you know how we start the show. Always want to know what you're sipping on to get your moonlight and right for the show. So, Mikey the Lone Ranger, what fruity beverage you got on deck today?
Actually, it's really weird you say fruity beverage. So, because it's on a Thursday, and those of you that have watched before know that I have to work Thursday night, so I'm working after this. So I cannot have a beverage. But what I can have is strawberry banana body armor.
There we go.
So it's legitimately fruit.
but his substitute comes in clutch.
I love that shit.
That it does. But Pat, in the hat, what do you have today?
Guys, I got to endorse this. It's a Natural Light Natter Days.
Oh, I've heard so much about those.
Strawberry lemonade with some drinking beer. It's
Yeah,
perfect
we're on a
for,
strawberry lemonade kick.
Dude, you can golf with this thing. You can play a basketball game with this thing, some pickleball with this thing. Or you can do a Thursday night podcast when you got work in the morning.
Pickleball, the actual sport of Cinco Squad.
John, you have yogurt tonight, or you have water? What you got?
No yogurt. I got myself a Celsius tropical vibe. My wife is going to be upset because I drink hers. But
bro, I've been buying those things. They're legit. Those are legit energy drinks. They are fucking delicious. All natural.
I've seen a lot of people where I work drinking it throughout the day because they need energy around here.
Hell yeah.
I got my no brand agua. Not giving any company any recognition right now. I hate drinking out of plastic bottles, but this is all I got on deck tonight, boys. I'm thirsty, so let's look into the world's healthiest drink. Some high quality, baby. Some high quality.
Hey, you gotta stay hydrated out there.
That's some high quality H2O.
That's all afternoon, bro.
Mike, Daniel Barkley says, now what's really mixed in that drink, Mike?
Nondescript.
I agree, Daniel.
Daniel, thank you for tuning in. He's actually a frequent tune-in guest for our wrestling podcast on Review and Preview. So thanks for coming on over and checking out the Cinco Squad.
Yeah, man, big up, Dan. Big up. Hey,
Mike, you can tell him it's moonshine, man.
Nondescript.
Your boy Mikey the Lone Ranger. Anytime a Ranger game is going on and we're in the middle of a show, he kind of looks like he's on the edge of his seat. So, guys, I promise you, Mike right now is not antsy just for the sake of just because he's antsy. Like, he's literally on the edge of his seat because we're in a 1-1 game right now. And this is the only game left in the NBA and NHL playoffs that we don't have a team yet that's on the brink of getting into the next round or into the championship round. Every other team has won 3 games. This is where we're going to see one team go up 3-2. All of us have been talking for a while this week. Who's the better team? Who's the better conference? Who's the better league? Do we like the NHL? Do we like the NBA more? You know what I like more? UEFA Champions League final for Liverpool. So, guys, here's where we're going to settle it. Which playoffs, if you only had one channel and you couldn't change it, what would you tune into right now?
NHL, easily.
NHL.
NBA. NBA.
NBA. Even if the Celtics. What if the Celtics weren't in it?
NBA. NBA. I love the game of basketball, man. It's hardwood, man. Dribble, jumping on the court to get the loose ball. That's some energy.
Just giving one-word descriptions of the game of basketball.
Hardwood.
More than the fans did.
Dribble, ball.
Rebound, shoot.
NHL easily, but Jamie, NHL easily. I mean,
Yes.
I'm a hockey player, so I grew up watching and being around the game. So easily NHL all day. But I love the one thing about NBA I don't like is, and I think we alluded to this in our group chat, is saying that the games haven't been interesting. I mean, the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics series has been very boring, and I'm a Heat fan, so it's very.
You've been boring. I'm not expecting more of a back and forth with you.
They had a stat pop up last night that for the previous 4 games, there had been 4 total lead changes. Last night, I think midway through the third, in that one game, there had been 4 to 5 lead changes. So
total.
Rightfully so, it's been a fairly predictable series because one team has taken control of the game fairly early. I thought it was going to be a dogfight. I'm really surprised. I know injuries have riddled both teams and they haven't been at full strength, but I'm really shocked that this hasn't been more competitive, to be honest.
Okay, you guys want me to describe the real reason the Celtics blew out the Heat last night? Okay.
Go for it.
I'll tell you. So at halftime, after the back and forth, my girlfriend gave me a haircut. I will disclose this haircut.
What's different?
It's
the sides.
Oh, my God. You just showed us the top.
You thought like Gallo Rushman.
She cuts my hair in the bathroom, right? I put the game on my phone in the bathroom. The Celtics made a comeback in the third quarter. I did not leave the bathroom the entire second half of the game.
Terrible.
And that's how my Celtics won in South Beach. It's all me.
You guys say. Listen, I know all of us did that when we were young. Do you guys still believe right now that actually works as a fan? That like if someone's working for you, you just stick in that spot?
How can I not believe that?
No,
so
I don't believe it's
like you guys believe in all that stuff?
Oh yeah.
No.
You do?
I mean, people will be like, "Oh, you got your playoff beard?" I'm like, "I've had this for like 10 years, so yeah, I guess so."
Always playoff.
Hey, come on, right here.
Daniel says NHL.
And by the way,
John doesn't believe in it.
Oh,
I believe in it, and the Celtics won. How about
I
that?
agree with
Mikey. Pro basketball is
Michael.
Not a team game anymore.
That's your uncle, right, Mike?
That's my uncle.
I agree.
What's that, man?
North Carolina fan.
Uncle Mike.
Wait, hold on, John. Time out. Time out. How could you agree to that when the Celtics are playing team basketball? They're playing team basketball.
No. I'm not saying okay. So I'm not saying that they're not playing team basketball. I'm saying that the NBA playoffs has been boring. The games have been boring because I mean, when a team is up 30 or 40, why do you want to continue to watch? Like, especially when they're playing your team. I mean, I was watching the Heat Celtics series, and when they were playing in Boston, I was sitting there. I was like, why am I sitting here watching this? I'm like, they're up 30 in the first quarter.
Like, they suck.
Okay.
All right, guys. So Mike, you got NHL.
Yeah. Oh,
hold on, Mike, you got NHL because your team is still in it. If the Rangers weren't in it, would you still say NHL?
Yes, 100% NHL. It's way more exciting all the time.
Okay.
I mean, it goes back to what I said in the group chat, which is a topic we will get to someday. But yeah, it's NHL.
Did Carolina blow it last night, guys? And that game was super exciting, right? You think Carolina has the game? They're up 3-0 in the second period. Did they blow it? Are we going to see them lose in 7 here?
Colorado.
Yeah.
They were up 4-0, I believe. And they are 3-0. Yeah, 3-0 in the third. I mean, that's tough. I mean, and especially with St. Louis without their best player, which is their goaltender. I mean, that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough to overcome. So it was a great motivation to go back to St. Louis. I think Colorado's taking care of it. I think they've learned. And I said that in our group text that I think that they came out flying. They had 18 shots in the first period, and then they just let off the gas. I mean, you just can't let off the gas in the NHL playoffs. I mean, you just can't. I mean, teams are not going to stop.
All gas, no brakes.
One team doesn't let.
He's a smart man.
One team in the NHL right now that doesn't let their foot off the gas when it counts. And when you have the best goalie in the game, I mean, come on, guys. Six shutouts in game deciders. Best goalie in the game, Mr. Vasilevsky.
No.
Sweep.
No. Winning the Vezina. Shesterkin's winning the Vezina this year, so no, he is.
Igor's having a good year.
One at a time.
All right,
One at a time.
Congratulations. He was the best goalie in the game the last few years. Now he is not.
Yes, he is.
What are you talking about?
Why is he winning the best goalie award then?
Okay,
why is he nominated for the best goalie then?
Time out.
He's not nominated for best goalie.
Time out. Is Jokic still in the playoffs right now?
No, but that's not his fault.
No,
hold on. No. I'm just saying. No, listen to my argument. Is Jokic still in the playoffs? Yes or no?
That's not his fault.
No, right?
This isn't a playoff award, though. Best goalie in the game is not a
Listen
playoff.
to what I'm saying. Sometimes it doesn't matter what the awards are. It's who's willing to step up and be the guy when it counts.
All I know is there's only one goalie nominated this year for MVP of the entire league, and it's Igor Shesterkin. So,
which is good for him, but until his team gets to the next round, he's not better than Vasilevsky.
We're working on it.
For 2 years in a row.
Working on it.
See? Watch the screen. We're working on it. We're trying.
Trying our damnedest.
Flip your laptop next time.
Yeah. Shut the stream off and flip.
No, but I mean, it's
Win the title.
Go for it, Jer.
I'm completely flipping the script on you guys. After what I saw last week in the Premier League with how exciting the season ended, it was heartbreaking for me. Liverpool was 1-1. They needed a win. It was the 75th minute. I thought we were going to end up blowing it. Man City,
What are we talking
Manchester
about?
City. Listen to me. I'm giving you my opinion of what's more exciting than the actual playoffs right now is watching a league go down to the final game of the season where one team has to win to secure the title and they're down 2-0 at home, and this freaking team scores 3 goals in 5 minutes and takes control of the game. And Liverpool fans are left in somewhere to cry. What an exciting end to the season.
That's tough.
Arsenal fans, heartbreaker for them. Tottenham gets
I'm
into
not
the
staying
Champions
up
League.
till 11:30 at night watching soccer. I'm sorry, Jamie. I'm watching the Celtics take down.
This is Sunday morning, man. What are you talking about? It's Sunday. They're 5 hours ahead of us. There was 5 hours ahead. It was 11 a.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah,
that's perfect time to watch sports.
I'm still
perfect time to watch sports.
Nah, man, I'm drinking
Well,
on Saturday night.
That was the most exciting ending to the season I've seen in a while. It definitely didn't disappoint. And then this week, UEFA Champions League finals, Liverpool, Real Madrid. Can't get any better than that. Those two teams have been dominating.
Now I understand why you wanted to open the show. Now I know why you wanted to open the show. He's like, I'll tease him with NBA and NHL, and then I'll just go into my soccer rant.
Jamie on the pitch.
Yeah.
Well,
Which playoffs have been better? Like the regular season is the playoffs. It's just like, well, college football has a playoff system, but the thing about these soccer leagues is it's always the playoffs. Every single game counts as for who becomes the champion. So it's a continuous build of dramatic games week on end. It's not who gets to the playoffs and then plays good playoff basketball or hockey. It's you have to perform in that level throughout the whole year. That's what makes it exciting to me. The last week
I was not prepared for this.
awesome.
I was not prepared for this.
Where's that in my notes?
Guys,
where's the notes?
Guys, I think since Jamie got his soccer in, I think it's only fair
Not on my notes.
that John get his sport in. So John, you're gonna have to take the lead on this one because you know the most.
What?
All right, talk about field hockey.
Mito Pereira.
I think Medo blew it.
Oh my God.
The
Oh,
meltdown.
Medo.
so let me just tell you, this guy played fantastic golf. Yes, Daniel.
Thank
Yes,
you,
go
Daly.
Birds. And woo!
Go Bird.
That was
Daniel, you
perfect.
come on.
A great guy. Great.
Yeah,
guy.
no, he's awesome.
Mike,
Number
you can
one
thank
fan.
God for shooting in this one time.
Yeah.
No, he come on anytime. Number one fan, exclusivity, VIP room.
Oh, hey, while we're on the topic, NFC East, I motion for Daniel Dimes being the one we don't talk about anymore on this podcast.
Okay.
You don't want it to be Carson Wentz?
Oh, the fucking broken meal over there in Washington?
Yeah,
No.
well,
right.
I was gonna say, he's
All
All right,
legit.
all right. Let's not
Anyway,
waste our
Medo blew it.
let's not waste our breath on pointless people.
Let's
So,
talk about the fact.
Well put.
so yeah. So
Speaking of Medo,
I mean, it was pretty heartbreaking. I was watching that. I watched all 4 days, and he played fantastic golf. I said this. He played 71 holes of great golf until the 18th, where it is a very challenging dogleg right hole, and basically a lot of guys took driver that needed to ultimately leg up and pretty much have a nice shot into the green. He did not. He had a 1-stroke lead, and all he needed to do is hit a 3-wood down the middle of the fairway. Even if he would have blocked that 3-wood right like he did on his drive, he would have. It wouldn't have reached the water. And it's just sad to see that his caddy didn't just say, "Hey, keep the driver in the bag, hit something down the middle about 250, 260 yards, hit your next shot up on the green, 2-putt, you win the PGA Championship." It's
why
just
is that on the caddy?
So, hold on. So why
Because
does
the
that
caddy-
not happen though? Why does
because
that
a lot
not
of players, what they'll do is they'll pretty much say, the caddy's there for suggestions, right? I'm not
Right,
putting
he's
it 100% on the
Medo's a
caddy.
Professional.
Correct. But you have to. He's a young kid. He's that
27.
needs.
He pays
He's still
taxes
young.
like I do.
He's still young, Pat. I mean, he still needs to have that. I mean, why do you listen to your coach? But why do you listen to coaches in NBA? Why do you listen to coaches in the NHL? Why do
Half the
players listen to their
don't
coaches?
listen. They're the professional.
But they
Wait, you're
do.
saying
I'm
the
saying
caddy's
like
the coach?
most of them do. That is their coach. That is their coach
The
on the
caddy's
course.
coach?
Pretty much during the
He
round.
sounds
That's
like
their coach. Hold on one second.
In the
That-
perspective of
yeah.
he's standing off.
in the perspective of seeing that, he's got a swing coach, he's got all this, but in the round, he is like their head coach there, that he's pretty much telling them, like, hey, he should have mentioned, like, hey, after, especially on 16 and 17, where he pushed his drive a little right with the driver, you have to know in your brain as a professional player that if the driver's not, I mean, he was +5 at that point. He was at -9 going into that Sunday.
You just
And then
said
he-
in his professional head, he should know.
He should, but it's always good to have that. Why do you have a caddy? It's like
So,
it's
all
not
right,
it's
wait,
not
wait,
the
wait.
caddy. The caddy just doesn't carry the bag. The caddy gives good advice. The caddy knows how to
no.
calm
All right, John,
players.
John. I'm
Go for it.
ignorant. I'm ignorant in the world of golf.
I know
think
you are.
the caddy is. Yeah. I lost 20 balls on a 9-hole course last Sunday.
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
need a
My
caddy.
kind of golfer.
But I'm saying, like, I'm not
Yep.
thinking as a caddy as a head coach. I'm thinking as a caddy as an advisor, if anything.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I guess that's better way to put it. I
But
just
it's
put it in
also-
perspective. I
should
put it in
advise-
perspective of a like when you look at an NHL team, when you look at stuff like that, that's who they look at as like their head coach. Like it's like you look to them like when they're getting a little antsy, that's their guy to be like, hey,
Yeah.
you need to calm down.
Yeah,
That's why like Joe LaCava's like been perfect for Tiger because he knows how to tell Tiger to like, hey, calm down. Like, you're good. Like just, take to the next shot or
Don't overthink it.
but I just
Don't
think
let
it's a
that
mental
freeze
lapse. I mean, but he handled it like a champ. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. He really did. He took every interview.
Was awesome, bro. Like he really shook it off. Like, hey, it happened. Like he didn't look too upset.
He took
Like,
every interview. He signed every autograph they said. He gave his attention to everybody that came up to him. He didn't snap a club or anything. So I gotta say he's very professional in that aspect. But it's just sad to see that he played great golf for 71 holes, and then on the last hole, you don't. I'm not saying he didn't need to play it safe, but he was already 5 over on the round already.
He did need to play it safe, though. He did, because if you just
that's what I said.
Right, at least he would have got himself into a playoff if he was 1 over on that hole, which is very doable.
Correct.
Playing the way you said to play it. So,
and with the new playoff rules of playing, I didn't know at the time where it's not sudden death, and they played 3 holes. Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, in my opinion, I know I talked a lot about this right now, but I mean, with you guys, I mean, when it comes down to it in like clutch times, I mean, do you feel you need that extra like encouragement? Like if you're talking about Pat for you for baseball, Mike for baseball, Jamie for swimming, like do you guys feel like in a clutch time, like say you're going into a big meet or a big at bat or something like that, do you need that extra pep talk, or can you focus yourself and kind of line yourself into focus in? Mike, what about you?
So like normally in like a normal game or situation like that, I've been able to, in the past, I was able to focus myself most of the time, but it was specific moments I found, and I feel like this would have been a specific moment where, that would be really helpful and really necessary, given like you said, he's not, especially comparatively to everybody else on tour or a lot of other guys on tour, he's still very young, and that's a big moment. You're going into, the last stretch of trying to win a PGA championship. So, it might have been nice to be able to be, if it were me and if I was Medo, to be, kind of taken aside for even half a second and being like, hey, deep breath, calm down. It's okay. Big moment. Like, you know what I mean? Take a step back. Just someone get me to take a step back and not overthink a shot or overthink my club selection or something like that. So, I think it's helpful. Not always necessary, but definitely helpful. What do you think, Pat?
What was old boy?
I lost everyone.
All we heard was old boy.
You guys got the old boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I can hear you.
I
was kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, what did I say?
All right.
No, it had to been my Wi-Fi or something. I was like, oh boy. No, I don't need a pep talk in those situations. I know the moment is right there. I have to perform to where I am. I've played baseball games where there's a guy at second. I got to get the guy in.
Yeah.
I got to hit the damn ball. I got to put it in place somewhere. I don't need the coach saying, hey, swing the bat. I know to swing the bat. I got to get the ball and play.
Yeah.
So with Medo needing the caddy to tell him what club to use, you're a professional, man.
Yeah.
Get the suggestion, interpret it, use your own opinion on it. You're the professional. The caddy gets a small check, right?
No.
Medo's getting a big check. Medo's getting a big check, no matter where he places. So, dude, you got to perform in the moment that's at hand, and Medo did not. Can't blame it on anyone else but him.
Oh, of course. Jay, what about you? You've performed at the highest of highs. So
right,
you performed at the highest of highs. How did you focus in? Did you need that pep talk or no?
Well, that was the first time. That was my first time at the Olympics, right? So I was freaking out. I really was, because it was the biggest moment and it was the grandest stage. And in Australia, you're talking about 15,000 people at a swim meet. The most people I've ever seen in a swim arena was 500. So everything was just surreal. So for me, it was a moment of I didn't have, I had my dad there as my coach. I had my coach from high school, and both of them were like, hey, I prepped for it before. They kind of gave me a race prep strategy. So that helped tremendously, because I could take that final breath to calm the nerves right before I stepped up. But I was shaking, man. I was literally petrified in walking up there, more than I'd ever been. And it wasn't about being afraid to fail. It was just, this moment was so big. And I think that's what happened to him. I think the experience is truly the king of all lessons. And so not having the experience of having a lead, going into the final hole, knowing how to handle that situation, got the best of him. And with a lot of athletes, that's why we call it the Medo Meltdown. That meltdown can happen at the absolute worst time, where it's right before you have to make that one final move. And that came with, like John said, grabbing the wrong club. And perhaps he did not. Perhaps for him, it was like, John said to me, look, he played the hole that way all weekend. Why would he think this would happen on the final day? Why go all of a sudden to safe when for the last 3 days, this is what's been working for me? Maybe he did make the right choice, but he didn't hit the ball the right way. It obviously didn't come off the club the way it was supposed to. And for him, like, imagine that moment. And my heart, not because I chose him to win, my heart felt it for him at that moment, because it's like, how painful of a sport that 71 out of 72 holes, you do exactly what you have to do to win. And then you have someone like Justin Thomas who goes 6 under that day, is as calm, cool, as collective as any pro there is on tour, and deceiving, because for a smaller guy, man, can he rip the ball right there. And then he gets himself in contention to win the tournament because, you know, the guy leading all weekend long had a meltdown at the worst time. I really felt for him.
I wonder if he had that Tiger effect. I mean, no one will ever have that effect. But I wonder if Justin Thomas's name, you know, I mean, everyone knows his name. You know, even people that don't watch golf know Justin Thomas, know his name and likeness. You know, I wonder if, you know, that type of pressure, seeing him move up the leaderboard and then Medo coming down was like, man, I don't want to go to a playoff with Justin, because, you know, he's a fierce competitor. So, you know,
were you disappointed in his celebration? I thought it's so, like, there was nothing to it. JT, when he won, it was like, wait, like, where's the emotion? He like, no fist pumps. He just kind of like.
He should be there. He should be there.
He celebrated kind of like the way he did it on the first time. Yeah, fist pump. I mean, cool, calm, and collective.
Yeah,
that's just how he is. Cool, calm, and collective. I mean, I agree, because his best friend is Tiger Woods. So, I mean, you know, seeing his reactions, and Tiger let all the emotions out when he would win and stuff like that. Yeah. So I get you. I get you 100%. You know, that's for sure.
John, where was Medo in the world of golf? Was he projected to be there at all, or was this like out of left field?
Out of left field. I mean, that's the greatest thing about golf. I've heard of him over the you know, the last few months, but he wasn't like in the top 10s of a lot of majors and stuff like that. He was just kind of around in the top maybe 100, and you just heard his name. But yeah, it was totally. And I think
mean, obviously he had to make the cut to be there. So
yeah, I mean, he's got his PGA card, which qualifies you to be in this tournament. But you know, so I mean, it's pretty impressive to see him come out and shoot lights out like he did. And this course was very, very manageable, but very difficult at the same time. So for sure.
Hey, Oklahoma showed up. I rooted for the course the whole weekend. We got overtime.
Speaking about difficult to watch, Mikey, how you doing over there, buddy?
You all right?
Like?
I'm all right.
Yeah. You all right?
I listen. There's a lot of time left.
Go through your emotions, Mike. Go through your
Mike
emotions.
hasn't spoken. Oh, it's 2-1 Carolina. That's why.
Yeah.
Let's
see. My emotions are ranging from nervous to upset to sad to happy to excited to nervous. Back to it's just the whole thing.
Back to hungry.
Hey, Mike, promise us one thing here. If the Rangers tie the game while we're still on, can you make your reaction a little more celebratory than Justin Thomas when he won the PGA Championship?
One request.
I need your laptop to go flying. That's what I need.
Hat goes off, shirt comes off, waving around the room. Like, let me see some emotion in there, bro.
Yeah, celebrate like you're.
Mike, focus. We're doing a show.
No, I know. I'm watching somebody bleed.
He's like,
no, because I'm watching somebody bleed from their mouth.
You say,
dude from Carolina just took a stick to the face. Anyway,
but, I mean, you know, one of the things that we talked about this week is talking about the NHL still is, you know, why, you know how like an NBA sometimes usually the best team is, you know, right at the top. You know, how come? You know, I'll throw it to Mike. Mike, why do you think the President's Trophy is kind of like a curse to some teams?
Yeah, honestly, I don't like
the President's Trophy for everyone is the best team in NHL.
Right, they finished with the most points in the standings.
The best,
you know, it's part of me thinks offhand that it's just like they burn themselves out in the regular season. They play so hard, like all the teams play hard, obviously, but like when they're in contention to get the most points and win the President's Trophy, it's an honor, it's a trophy you get, so like it's something to shoot for. So maybe these teams kind of burn themselves out, and you get a lot of cases where, like for the Florida Panthers who won it this year, they're a very well built regular season team, but we were saying all along as they went through the playoffs that they weren't a team comprised of a lot of guys with playoff experience, which is why you see them look pretty bad against a Tampa team that obviously won back-to-back Stanley Cups. They've been through the ringer.
Can you change that to Champa? Champa, thank you. Champa Bay team, not Tampa, a Champa Bay team. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to call them that because they're not going to win this year. So
You're champ until you lose.
Double defending champs. I don't know.
You're champ
They
until
look
you
pretty
lose.
good.
But
Like
yeah,
your dynasty.
it's a Lightning team that is very playoff savvy. So I think that has a lot to do with it. Is just like there's teams that are built for the regular season and then teams that are built for the playoffs. I don't know, Jay. What do you think?
Tampa Bay. John?
Okay. Besides that, what do you think besides that?
I yield the rest of my time.
I agree with Mike. I mean,
No,
it's just hard. I mean, you got to play every game. So it's like it's very difficult to – I mean, I feel like in NBA, there's a lot of teams that can – yes, except Buffalo. Who cares about Buffalo? Is he a Buffalo fan?
No,
I'm assuming
he doesn't watch a whole lot of hockey, but if he does, he's an Islanders fan.
Okay,
Dude,
that's
everyone
fine.
knows the Sabres suck.
Who cares about
Put it out
Buffalo?
there.
Who cares about the Bills? Who cares about the Sabres? Bye-bye.
He's a Steelers fan, by the way.
There goes
You know I
Western
hate
New
that. You
York.
know I'm not from Western New York.
I know,
So I live
but
in
our
a Bills
population
fan.
might be.
I live in a Bills town from the Virgin Islands.
All right, so
I'm good.
wait. Let's get a tally. All right, so far we've lost Oklahoma City as listeners. We've
Tulsa
lost
too.
Tulsa. Oklahoma as a whole is
As
gone.
a state,
And
we'll just call
We
it.
lost
It's just
Buffalo.
gone.
is gone.
We lost
man.
Buffalo.
We just lost
Yeah.
Buffalo, which means by proxy, you lost at least half of Rochester. The other half may stick around because I'm from there. So
We've definitely lost. Oh
We
shoot!
lost.
Whoa,
Jamie, we lost
We
Jamie.
lost Jamie.
I'm
We
out.
lost a member.
I'm out.
And Jamie leaves, we lost Tampa.
Yeah, we definitely lost
Hey.
Dallas because we got two Eagles fans in here. So we
And a
lost Dallas
Giants
from the first show. We lost Dallas. So
But if we lost Jamie, we lost all the soccer fans. So that might be
Yeah,
a
that's it.
plus with a
you
minus.
lost 3 billion. You lost 3 billion sports fans. I'm sorry.
there's
No,
another
I mean,
4 billion.
I mean,
Fuck
kind of when it comes down to it, I mean, Pat, do you feel like the best team is always, do you think it's like a curse to be the best team in any sport? Like, I know you don't watch a lot of hockey, so I know,
No, I
like,
mean,
in just general, does it feel like it's like a lot of pressure?
It plays for all sports. If you're the best team, if you're a defending champ, if you're the best in the regular season, you have a target on your back. You're going to get the best out of every team you're going to face here on out.
Yep.
If you're a ranked team in college basketball, if you're number one
Yep.
seed in NBA, you're going to get the best. And that's why it's hard to win the championship. But it's also saying that you have a championship caliber team. It's how do you play into pressure? Do you come out every day and play your hardest, or do you pull the wrong club out of your bag? You never know.
It's true. It's true, though. I mean,
No,
I feel like
target
teams
on your-
step up.
Target on your back is a big motivator, or
That's a great point. That's a great point.
It's a great point. Yeah.
One other thing I think about, like when you go into the regular season and too many people are talking you up as the favorites, I don't know if complacency kind of sets in because something about you going into the playoffs, you have that chip on your shoulder where you've handled a lot of teams in the regular season and you figure you could have your way with them. Like I didn't think we were going to get past Toronto. Once we got to Florida, I was like, this team hates us more than any other team. Maybe this is the team that finally eliminates Tampa Bay after nobody has done it for the last 2 seasons. And they proved to come up so short that our fans were waving the brooms. You know what, though? I guess it's fine. There wasn't that much traveling. But have you guys ever seen back-to-back hockey games like that. Hockey's such a tough sport. Like I don't know if there's ever been.
Yeah, they kind of screwed. They kind of screwed them.
Oh.
They kind of
Subway Series. Come on, Subway Series.
No, but he's talking about like back to back.
No, I'm talking about
they played it the same day. That was World Series, same day.
No, I'm talking about hockey. Because hockey is such a brutal sport to play back to back. That's tough on any team to do. I mean, I know both teams were in it, so like it's not like one team had the advantage, but both games were in Tampa Bay. So,
like, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't the Subway Series, the World Series, they played a back-to-back with a Subway?
No, they would never done that.
It was that season, but it was in like June. It was when they played each other in the regular season. But it was that.
They wouldn't do that in the World Series. I didn't think that made any sense. I mean,
no, if it's
during the regular season,
if it's going to happen in a World Series, it's going to happen in New York or Chicago,
right?
Or LA,
yeah, true. No, I agree with you, Jamie. Like I said they screwed Tampa and Florida because like they had those every other day games, and then I looked on the schedule and it was like Sunday, Monday, and I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. They should have played Saturday. I didn't understand it at all, but yeah, I mean, Tampa got a run for their money. I mean, I think Tampa has a huge chip on their shoulder because like people like Mike who underestimate them and, you know, all season has said, oh, Tampa's not repeating. Tampa's not doing it, this, that, and the other thing. And they're kind of proving teams wrong. Like, hey, even though we got rid of our core young guys, we're going to go out there and prove people wrong. We traded for Nick Paul, or is it Nick Paul? I think it is Nick Paul. What?
Nick Paul, yes.
Yeah. And then Brandon Hagel, who has been a great addition. So, yeah, I think, you know, definitely, you know, I love that. I love the hockey they're playing right now. They're playing great games.
They also proved how deep they are because they did it without arguably that best player in the previous series because Brain Point went down before that series even started. So I think once again, they're proving that their depth is as good as any team in the sport right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I definitely think you've got a lot of guys on that team that are making a difference. And speaking of making a difference, I think it's time we talk about some unfortunate stuff that's happened this week that has caused us to think about how can athletes make a difference and make a positive impact in the community, given, you know, circumstances.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't mind, just, you know, one thing that they can do is just be there. You know, there's not a lot of these kids, a lot of these people. I mean, look at you. You got those jerseys behind you. I got my jersey sitting right next to me. Pat's got a ton of, and so does Jamie, got a ton of memorabilia. So I think just being there, showing your face, you know, signing autographs, taking time out of your own day, even in the off season, you know, take a week and spend it in the community, do autograph sessions, you know, I'm doing a camp, community camp where you just learn how to play basketball or learn how to play hockey. You know, I think that's one way of kind of bringing each city and each community together. And it's unfortunate it's what's happened. It's sickening and it's disgusting what's happening. And, you know, it's very sad. But I think a positive impact moving forward is, you know, doing what I just mentioned, just being there and being out in the community as much as possible instead of, you know, I understand that they have to protect themselves, but also, you know, I know it means a lot to a little kid to see, let's just say Luka Doncic, or let's say Dwayne Wade or LeBron James pop up in the community. It's like, oh my God, I met LeBron James, you know? So what about you, Pat?
All right. So I saw this in our notes and I had a lot of feelings behind it. It's mixed. Like I think athletes, the highest platform they have is bringing awareness to whatever social situation is going on. They have a platform and most of them use it, and other people try to knock them off that platform. And I think that's wrong. We talk about Colin Kaepernick. He's getting a workout with the Raiders right now, but I really feel like he's been blackballed over an issue that he felt strongly about. And, you know, we have rights in this country that protect you with peaceful protest. And a lot of people don't want to watch football because players are kneeling down. And I really think it's messed up that people take athletes with the platform they have to address something that they care about and turn it into something that it was never about. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
Politicians would use that. This guy shouldn't be playing. This guy shouldn't be doing this. This guy shouldn't be doing that. Well, he thought that it was right in that moment, and who's to say that's wrong? We have the right to do that.
Right.
So,
but how do you think players can, players can make an impact in their communities? How do you feel like, the Kaepernick situation is one example, but what is a way that players that you feel can make an impact?
Well, like I said, they just bring awareness to a cause that you don't like. Cancer. A lot of players wear cleats in NFL. They sell their merchandise to auctions to raise money to this awareness. And a lot more players could do that. I know a lot do. And I mean, as far as they can do, that's it. They can bring awareness to it. And I like what everyone is doing so far.
Can I say one thing before we go on to Jamie and Mike? I was listening to something about J.R. Smith, and he was talking after he enrolled in the NCAA, UNC A&T, I think it is, playing golf there. Mm-hmm. And he said one thing that actually, I think to Brandon Marshall, who I forget what the podcast or what show it was, and he basically said, I was stupid as a young kid. He goes, instead of giving back to my community and giving back my money to the community and helping build the Boys and Girls Club, build this, build that, and the other thing, I was throwing like $60,000 in a club. I was throwing this in the club. Like, I was just throwing money away like it was nothing. And he goes, looking back, I was an idiot. And that really impacted me because it's like,
those are outliers. Those are outlier guys.
But it's true though. Like, he did a lot of dumb stuff as a young guy in the NBA. I hope younger players watch that and listen to that, because I think that's important, because I think that's key. When you get your first $1 million check, it's not about having the fanciest car, having the best. It's about what you can do with it. Understanding that you've never had this. Okay, splurge on yourself. It's okay to do that. But it's also okay to save it, and okay to invest in a community, help build up your community. Hang
on. You got J.R. Smith throwing dollars in the club, and then you got Kirk Cousins, who doesn't spend $1 of it; he saves all of it. What's to say that's any different? He's not putting it back in your community; he's saving.
No, but I was referencing how he said he should have given back to his community. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So should Kirk Cousins. He's got,
but it's not an obligation, right? I agree with you. Right. There should be some sort of donation to a charity, a Boys and Girls Club, those type of things. I think that should be come out of your check, but ultimately that's like saying us and our paychecks. So, Jay, I know you're antsy to say something, so go ahead.
Yeah, it's very disheartening to know that it's going to be on to the next very soon with this, and that's why I really applauded what Steve Kerr did when he got the podium. And it was very personal for him too, because his dad was unfortunately gunned down many years ago by a terrorist in a foreign country. And when he took the podium, he was so visibly shaken by this. You could tell that he literally had it. Like, he had it. Like, they were in Texas as well, so I feel he felt it even more. And the worst part about it was him pleading, saying, "We know something can be done." And Mike, your uncle just made a great point there and said the sponsors of these teams and the bigger corporations are the one that they look at you, right? How about getting the corporate sponsors to start influencing political candidates they support? Yes, because they rub shoulders with these guys. These are the mega millionaires and billionaires that fund some of these campaigns. Who knows? These are the people that can actually make a difference more than the players that they pay. Now, the players are the influencers through social media, but when you're rubbing shoulders with people who could sign the papers, that can get things done to make moves, so children aren't left to read signs when they come into school saying, beware of people carrying guns or having to feel like they're fending for themselves. It's disheartening to me. You have a kid, but all of us have nieces and nephews. at this stage in their life.
I'm sorry. I gotta move off screen. Wait, hold on. Pat, you got a kid?
I'm sorry, Pat,
Maybe somewhere, I don't know.
No, sorry, I'm going to say all those have nieces and nephews. My fault. Also have nieces and nephews, right? Unfortunately, like, we're all left to think exactly what Kerr said. What if it was your family? What if it was your family? Guess what? You would not be on to the next. You just wouldn't. And the sad part is, I'm seeing these posts with people like, you know, they have this school in some part of Florida where you see an ex-border patrol guy with a gun from his shoulder down to his hips. Is that what you want your kids to go to school and think is the only way I can be safe is if a man is standing with a gun that's bigger than me in my school? Like, what picture is that also painting of the country that you live in? So I can't tell you whether or not I think athletes are the right approach to it. Yes, they can have tremendous impact. Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, LeBron James, the big names, they are boys and girls clubs. They're building schools. They're giving kids hope and opportunity, even kids that may have felt bullied and outlied that are coming into a community that uplifts them. And yes, that's a very grassroots start to it. But immediate impact, your uncle made a great point, Mike. What do you think?
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's corporation.
No, I agree. I agree that that there's a certain level of like ownership and the corporations and stuff and sponsors that need to face the world we live in today, the unfortunate parts of the world we live in today, and try to do their part to make a difference. And I think from a sports and athlete perspective, I commend, like you said, Steve Kerr for saying what he said and giving that raw emotion that he did, because it is a very personal thing for him. And it's unfortunate that it takes it being personal for some people to face it, I guess. But I agree with you guys that like what an athlete can do is he can put his name, fate, and face to causes, be a spokesperson, speak to kids, you know, especially in the off season. You train for your sport in the off season, whenever that off season may be, but you don't train all the time, obviously. So you can go be a part of your community, talk to the kids in your community, make them understand that help. In my opinion, and from my perspective, I think a lot of the, on top of like putting money into the right causes and the right funds and foundations and charities and stuff like that, is teaching, educating the next generation. Because I like to try to live by and go by the old adage of those who do not recognize history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
So it's about educating the next generation about what's right and what's wrong about certain things.
Very well
and
put,
that teaching them that this isn't what life is supposed to be.
Correct.
This isn't what's supposed to happen. You know, so I think that's to add on to what you guys have already said, because I agree with all you guys. I think that's the other part. It's educating athletes and non-athletes, because, you know.
Yeah, but
I agree.
I agree with Pat. Like, you know, it's, you know, is J.R. Smith in the club throwing money all over the place when he was a young athlete, or Kirk Cousins putting it in the bank? You know, I mean, honestly, I think that's a good role model as it is, because it shows that Kirk Cousins isn't wasting his money in the club, throwing money all over the place.
I didn't say Kirk Cousins puts it in a bank. He strikes me as a guy who would dig a hole and put it in his backyard, like a dog, not with a shovel.
But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Like, you know, like I don't think that's a negative aspect of him, because if he doesn't, you don't see him out throwing his money all over the place. I think I always say,
doing nothing is not that you classify it as negative, but doing nothing is doing nothing. You know what I mean? And I think
yep.
Listen, we keep talking about impacting kids, right?
Speaking of doing are two different things.
But I'm going to talk about adults and football. You'd imagine we keep saying we have to impact kids. Here's the scariest stat about all this that's been going down, right? And this has been happening for 10 years in the United States. It truly is about educating kids, because they're like, well, there must be adults doing this. The average age of people that go and shoot up schools is 16. 16. That's the average age. this really is about targeting middle school kids who are about to go into high school, because that's where the hurt happens. That's where the mental lapse happens. That's where the breakdown and the disconnect happens and the empathy fades. And that's when you start seeing years of the abuse start to turn into this hatred. And when that hatred has no love attached to it, these horrible things happen. Just absolutely horrible things.
Jamie, I think that's bottom line. Just love each other. Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
love somebody today.
doing?
I always see it. I always see it on
it.
Twitter. Love somebody today.
yeah, and like the old adage.
And don't love them like
talking
that.
about love. The NBA showed some love to their best 15 players this week, naming the all first, second, and third team. And let's just keep. I really want to get to the Stump the Squad here. You know, we have to have a little bit of fun. So thank you guys for tuning in. But real quick, I'm going to read off first and second team, because third team, LeBron, CP3, Siakam, Cat, Trey. Pretty awesome team. But how about this?
Wait. Say that again. They're third team. LeBron's on the third team.
Yeah.
Third team: LeBron, CP3, Pascal Siakam, Karl Anthony Towns, and Trey Young. Okay, so now you know
Just
that.
Cinco when you need them.
But if we're going,
That's crazy though that he's on the third team. He averaged 30 points a game.
it's nuts. And then Jalen Rose says he voted for Kyrie on that team, and look, that means he could have left.
I mean, he left someone out.
Wow.
All right, go ahead.
All NBA first team versus all NBA second team. Who you got? Just say who you got. First team: Giannis, Luka, Jokic, Booker, and Tatum versus Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid,
Second.
Ja Morant, and DeMar DeRozan.
Second team easily.
First team or second team?
Second team easily.
Second team.
First team.
No. God no.
They have the MVP in the first.
What does that mean?
NBA team.
We just talked about that.
Hold on.
He's out of the playoffs.
If Tatum was on the
mean?
second team, don't lie. If Tatum was on the second team, you'd have said second team. Don't lie.
Obviously.
So, oh my God. Okay, where's my button? Where's my button?
Good. All right.
Okay, bye. Oh,
Let's
sorry.
go. You stop that. All right, you go 1 for 1. You want
One for one.
Jason Tatum, or DeMar DeRozan?
Jason Tatum.
Good point. Okay, Devin
That's all
Booker
the
or
points I
DeMar? Devin Booker or DeMar
No.
DeRozan?
That was all the points I need, Jamie.
No, Devin
Okay.
Booker or DeMar DeRozan?
Devin Booker.
Okay.
Jokic or Embiid? Jokic or Embiid? Toss
Embiid.
up, right?
Yeah.
No, Jokic.
Toss.
Luka or
MVP.
Steph? Luka or Steph?
Steph. It's proven right now.
You said Luka's your MVP and you just said Steph?
Yeah, but I mean, it's proven out right now. They're playing head to head, and they're aren't they about to sweep them?
Yeah, but Luka's
No,
carrying the whole team.
All right, final one. Giannis or KD?
3-0.
Giannis
KD.
or KD?
Giannis.
Katie.
All right, you're first team guy.
Whoa.
John, you said you were second team. Mike, you going second team, you said?
Yeah, mainly because of Steph and Ja.
True.
What about
would put-
KD?
Well, for me right now, KD and Giannis are a toss up. But overall,
Toss-up.
it's KD.
Giannis would toss
That
up.
second team's
KD
looking
on
good
the
to me
court.
too, boy. That second team is looking good to me. That's a strong second team right there.
It's a strong second team, but it's not the first team. Let's be real.
You give me a backcourt of Ja Morant and Steph Curry? You kidding me?
Dude, come on.
I hate you, Pat.
I'm spitting facts. The second team's strong, but they're not.
My
the first
relationship
team.
with Pat's a hate-love relationship.
They don't have the Celtics MVP of Jason Tatum, and they don't have the NBA MVP of Jokic.
Yeah.
What are you talking about here? Come on.
Embiid, I think we all know Embiid got slighted this year. This was Joel Embiid's MVP to lose.
No, Luka did.
He did.
He did not lose it. Right? He did not lose it to Jokic. He did not lose it to him. They
No.
just voted Jokic
Nope.
because he carried his team more, but he didn't lose it to him. That we know. All right, so we're
Yeah.
talking about first, second, thirds, and there could be a fourth in this week's edition of Stump the
Da, 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 da.
We reached that point in the show, boys and girls, where we get to try and stump each other on our sports trivia. That we don't really need to look it up, but we pretend we know everything in sports. So here's what we do. We've got 2 or 1. The person with the most points at the end, they get to rant to take us out into another week, or to end this week, sorry, and then take it to the next week. So who's going to kick it off this week?
You
Mike.
decide.
All right, I'm gonna go with Mike over there. Mike.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got to
Well,
go to work. boys and girls.
Hold on. We got to put up our wager before we ask the
You know, I always
question.
start with two.
Two.
We always start with two.
2. Pat.
1.
One
One?
for Pat and a hat.
1 for Pat
You
and
didn't
Hat.
see
So
it?
2
You
for
didn't see it?
Jamie and John. 2 for Jamie and John. 1 for Pat. Well,
That's
it actually works out that I'm starting because we just talked about a little NBA. So let's talk a little bit more NBA, but we're gonna go in the past.
Okay.
1983 NBA draft.
Wonderful.
We all know that Hakeem the Dream went number 1 overall.
I actually didn't know.
I do now.
And Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time, no debates necessary,
Yeah.
went 3rd overall.
Okay.
So tell me, who went 2nd?
Aha.
Goddamn Darko.
Taco minute.
That's 2003, not 1983. Was it A, James Worthy? B, Detlef Schrempf?
My dude, that left shrimp.
C,
It
Sam
sounds like
Bowie?
a dish at Bahama Breeze.
Or D, Clyde the Glide Drexler?
Love by the one. Who is
I'm
C?
gonna-
C was Sam Bowie. As James Worthy, Detlef Schrempf, Sam Bowie, Clyde the Glide Drexler.
Mike.
Clyde.
Like played with Hakeem on Houston and slice.
But when was he drafted? Though?
Mike, these
They
are
went out together.
great Goddamn answers.
But did Houston have the 1-2 though? No,
Well,
Houston.
no, he didn't go. Remember, he got drafted by Portland.
Portland.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't remember. No.
Mike, who was the third answer?
All right, I will read them again.
Yeah, please.
A.
A, James Worthy.
A.
B, Detlef
Schrempf.
Schrempf. C,
Mike.
Sam Bowie. D, Clyde Drexler.
I'm going A.
Okay, John picks A, James Worthy.
I'm going Bowie. C.
Okay.
The correct answer is Sam Bowie.
Well, I stumped John.
Yeah!
C, Sam Bowie.
The man who didn't know that left shrimp.
Yep.
Who was a real person, by the way. I didn't make that name up.
Hey,
Bro,
Indiana
Seattle
product.
Supersonics basketball. He was one of the first German
Sonic,
drafted.
yes, sir.
All right. Who's
Indiana
next, Mike?
product.
Who's next, Mike?
I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with you, John.
Okay, so mine's an NHL question. Go figure.
Oh.
Who was the first
Hold on.
NHL? Oh, my bad. I messed up my own.
You wanted this. You made this a point.
Whoa.
2.
I see you, John. All right,
How
John gets another -2 for that.
All right. What are we betting?
2.
2 for Mike, 2 for Pat, and Jamie.
2.
Okay, so 2 for Jamie. Cool. All right, so who was the first NHL player to appear in Game 7 of the playoffs 13 times in his career? Was it A, Glenn Anderson, B, Patrick Roy, C, Mario Lemieux, or D, Mark Messier?
Man, Lemieux and played in
Game 7, 13 times.
13 times. I had so many NHL questions, but I knew Mike knew most of them.
I'm waiting for you guys. I have an idea.
Pat, you got to go first.
What? That is not part of the rules.
No, Pat, we
Not part of the
wrote them
rules.
down. You didn't get the memo.
It was when you
you
went
know-
frozen.
John, who was B? Actually, you got Chris Anderson, Lemieux, Messi, and
No. Glenn Anderson, Patrick
Anderson.
Roy, Mario
Patrick.
Lemieux, or Mark Messier.
Okay, all right. I will go first. I want to say Lemieux, but
Okay.
it's John, so I want to say Patrick Roy.
Okay.
So I'll say B until these guys answer, and I'll change my answer.
Like John, you really tempted us with B, C, and D because I have no idea who A is, but B, C, and D all seem like they could be right.
They're plausible, right? Yeah.
Each one is. I know Lemieux played on so many championship teams and playoff teams. So did wow.
All right, you got 5 seconds. 5, 4.
D. I'll take Lemieux. I'll take Lemieux.
3,
A.
2.
Glenn Anderson.
Okay. I have successfully stumped Jamie and Mike. It is Patrick Waugh.
Okay.
Wow.
And a boy, Pat.
You
This
wouldn't
doesn't
think,
seem real, man.
It is. It's Patrick Waugh.
you wouldn't think
My favorite goaltender of all time.
He went
All
to
right.
a lot of game 7s because he played on really good Montreal teams.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm at -2. Pat's at now
3.
-1.
What?
Oh no.
Patrick 3. Patrick 3.
3. Mike's at -2 and Jamie's at 0.
Yep.
All right, Pat, go ahead.
All right. I hope I get this question out right because I was
Hold on.
writing it down
Wait.
and John just kept
I
talking.
gotta go for 2. I gotta go
I
for
want to
2.
hear the wagers. I want to hear the wagers. 2s all around?
Yep.
Okay. All right. In 2015, as we all know, St. Louis Rams transferred their whole franchise back to LA.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
With that move, St. Louis moved into a tie with what team for the number 1 city to lose professional sports?
Ooh.
You guys get that question, or should I rephrase it?
Yeah. Which city has the most
Which
teams?
Which lost the most teams?
has
Lost
lost
the
the
most
most teams? St. Louis
Okay.
is in a tie with this city. Is it
Okay.
A, Chicago, B, Boston, C, New York City, or D, Atlanta?
Atlanta.
It's Atlanta.
You have 2 seconds.
It's Atlanta.
New York.
New York has like 10 teams.
Does Brooklyn count?
But lost. It doesn't matter how many they have.
Jamie,
Oh.
what'd you say?
How many they've lost.
Yeah. Like, so if they were Brooklyn, like that counts for New York City too? Like, it just has to be a part of any other boroughs? Like, all right. You guys know Atlanta quick. Who is A? Who is A?
A was Chicago.
Chicago? I don't know. Chicago's team's kind of whatever. I'll stick with New York.
All right. I have successfully stumped John and Mike.
Yes. Yes.
Brooklyn does count.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if asking a question of my question counts, but yes, that counts.
So Mike and I are out of it.
They lost Brooklyn and the Giants. Who else?
He didn't look that up.
I did not have that much time to prepare.
All right, Jay.
I spent my full 30 writing that question as applicably.
So it's
as I-
between
right,
it's between Jay and Pat.
Yeah.
And Pat's gonna risk 1 right now if he was smart because he's up 1. But let's see if
But
he
I'm
goes
not.
for it. Go for it.
2.
Let me see your wages. 2. Pat, you going 1 or 2? He said 1.
One.
Give me 1. All right. So we're gonna swing back to the NBA here. So they have had about, I think the number right now is about 13 players have had 2 jerseys retired in NBA history. 13. Which players have had their jersey retired by teams they didn't even play for? Is it A, Shaquille O'Neal and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Is it B, Michael Jordan and Pete Maravich? Is it C, Bill Russell and Carmelo? Or is it D, Wilt Chamberlain and Kobe Bryant? So, which 2 players have had their jersey retired by teams they didn't even play for?
Michael Jordan. It's B.
So,
I know why too.
D.
you're going with Chamberlain?
I'm going with whatever Michael Jordan. B, right? B was Michael Jordan?
Jordan and Mavericks were B.
Okay, B.
All right.
It's B.
Carmelo combo was C. Will Chamberlain combo was D with Kobe. And A was
Michael Lynch is on my side.
Yes, he is.
We rolling.
Yes, D.
I'm gonna go B.
It's B.
You're gonna B. Pat, what you saying?
D.
I have successfully stumped Pat in the hat.
Yeah, because Michael Jordan.
It's the Hornets. It's Charlotte, isn't it?
Miami Heat.
No,
Miami-
the Miami
I think
Heat
retired
retired
his
Michael Jordan's jersey,
Miami Heat
and the
retired
Pelicans
Michael
retired, and the Pelicans beat New Orleans retired Pete Maravich's jersey.
That's why
I figured
that's why LeBron had to
Last
change
time,
his shoe.
guys.
Oh, that's true.
That's why LeBron had to go to 6 when he came to Miami because it was already up in the rafters. And I saw that when we went to the game 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And then Maravich, it makes sense.
Pat
Played
and
at
Ty.
LSU.
Wait. Bring it back. So the Eastern Conference team retired another Eastern Conference basketball player's number.
Yeah,
What a
isn't that
stupid
weird?
franchise. They don't deserve to be there. They don't deserve to be in Game 6.
Well,
Wow.
Pat.
Who doesn't watch basketball? Come on.
All right, so we got a tie break, guys.
Thank you,
Mike,
Mike
how are
Lynch.
we going to break it this week?
Okay. Mike, go ahead.
Colin
No, Mike, it's not bullshit. We saw it in the rafters. Come on down to Miami. Have a good
For
time.
real.
Heat game.
That's real. Pete Maravich got his jersey retired by the Pelicans, who weren't around when he was playing. So
Right, and he played at LSU. He played it with. Did he play with the New Orleans Jazz before they were?
All right, Mike.
Huh.
We got to figure out what we're gonna do for the tiebreaker.
Probably a Price is Right type question, where they got to can't go over.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of a
Oh, it's
question.
between me and Jamie?
Yeah.
Yes.
yes, sir.
Let's go.
Let's go. Dude. Let's go.
We roll.
Okay.
Okay, here. They're not, John, I got it. They're not hockey fans. They got to tell us, without going over, how many points Wayne Gretzky had in his career.
Oh Jesus! I don't even know that.
Wow.
Say it
Twice.
again.
Without going
Say it
over.
again. Wayne
Without going
Gretzky?
over.
What?
Huh?
How many points did great Wayne Gretzky have? Points. So that's
Points.
goals and assists combined
In his career.
in his career.
Price is Right rules, closest without going over. I have it up.
You got 5 seconds. 5, 4,
1,860.
2, 1.
1756.
Jamie,
The winner.
Great year.
Jamie wins. Wayne Gretzky had a total of 2,857 points in his NHL career.
Yeah, boys. What a stud.
Yeah, I wanted to say one,
What
Michael
a
Lynch.
stud. Ah, First
God
week.
damn, he's going to talk about soccer.
first
Yes,
week.
he is.
First
Yes, he
week.
is.
This is my first week. Gentlemen, I am so happy that I get to rank this week. Here's why I'm so happy. We touched on what happened earlier in the show, and I'm not going to go back there because we did give it enough time, and I love the way we ended it talking about let's just love one another. And that's probably the most powerful message anybody could send to any audience on any platform. But this weekend is all about Liverpool Football Club, ladies and gentlemen. My Liverpool Football Club will be playing Real Madrid in the Champions League final. Once again, this is a rematch to try and win their 7th UEFA Champions League title. They are a dynasty of a club. They have shown that they are the best team in the world this year. Real Madrid is in there because Man City fell asleep in the last 3 minutes of their game. Man City destroyed them in the first leg of the semifinals. My favorite player, Mo Salah, will be the one leading us to victory because he called it. He said, I want to play Real Madrid in the finals because that's how confident he is, ladies and gentlemen. And this weekend, I'll be wearing red. I'll be wearing my hat. Yes, we bleed red. Yes, we never walk alone. My Liverpool Football Club will be hoisting the UEFA Champions League this weekend when we defeat the mighty Real Madrid, the Galacticas, in Paris, France, in the UEFA Champions League finals. And gentlemen, you're gonna hear about it next week too. If I win, I'm bringing it back up. I'm just saying you right now. You guys better beat me next week because as winners, you know we're running this back, baby. We're running this back. Let's go, Liverpool.
We are joined by a balloon.
Well, boys,
Why does that sound
it's
like
been a
history
great
class?
You never went to history. Shut up.
I was a history major. What are you talking about?
You're right. Well, boys, I hope you guys have a great Memorial Day weekend and watch a lot of sports. Enjoy some family time, and thank you everyone for tuning in this week. Tune in next Friday. We're going back Fridays next Friday.
Warriors gonna win tonight. Warriors
8
make the
p.m.
finals tonight. First team into any finals this year. Golden State.
Hey, enjoy your loved ones, everyone.
Yes.
Have a good weekend. See you.
Good luck.